You know what the vibes is. Welcome to the QuickSilva Show, and it's not often I get to talk to not one but two living legends, and I'm gonna start by giving both of them their flowers because they deserve it. Um, let's talk about hip hop because hip hop started with me. I always say the DJ, then the MC. So I'm gonna go to the DJ first. 'Cause we talking hip hop. DJ Scratch is officially on the show. Welcome, Soldier.
Thank you, man. What's going on with you?
Hey, it's a beautiful day when I get to talk to DJ Scratch, the GOAT. And he'll tell you, RZA, I don't say that loosely because I think I'm the best. But this guy really might have me beat in turntablism. He might. I don't know.
You could do the elbows though. At least the elbows.
I'm a DJ. I'm not just the guy that talk on the mic and play sound effects. I come from the. I wish I could show you. I come from the turntable era with Scratch.
The 360s and all that,
Come on. But now let's get to the MC / the producer / the God. You got so many crowns.
He's a DJ too. He's a DJ too.
DJ Mike. I apologize. Exactly. I apologize, Scratch. Thanks for correcting me. RZA is officially in the building. How you doing, Soldier?
Bong, yo, I'm good, man. Just happy that me and DJ Scratch are able to share this new music with the world. You know what I mean? It's a blessing for us to, to take a terrible situation like the pandemic that hit us and to come out with somebody called the pandemic baby, they called it, right?
Ooh,
we, this Saturday afternoon, Kung Fu Theater, man, this project, this album, it's bananas, and I'm just happy to share it. So I'm happy to be talking to you right now. You know what I mean?
Let me ask real quick, because once again, I haven't heard the album yet. I've heard about it. When I heard that RZA and DJ Scratch was doing an album, first I'm like, okay, what is this? Who's rapping on the album? Who's producing? Because both of y'all are dope producers. Like, give me some insight. What can I expect as a fan? Forget about QuickSilva, the DJ. What can I expect as a fan of hip hop?
Good, Scratch. Tell him what he could expect.
Well, you're from the era, so imagine 93, 95 boom bap hip hop, Wu Tang with hard beats and scratches and dope ass lyrics.
And
that's
samples,
what it is.
And samples from RZA from the Shaolin.
Kung Fu samples, Chinese samples. That's
Japanese.
What it is. Japanese samples. That's what it is. Soul samples. That's what it is.
Right. And is it just beats? Like, what is it? Like, who's rapping?
No. These are songs, man.
No, I produced the whole album, and RZA did all the spitting.
Wow.
Exactly. So I didn't touch the boards. I didn't touch the boards. You know what I mean? I started, now going back to what you said in the beginning, QuickSilva, hip hop did start with the DJ. And my entry into hip hop was MCing. I started MCing with my first rhyme at the age of 9.
Nice.
By the age of 10, I was sipping on gin. You know what I mean? But that's another story. You know what I mean? But I didn't get my first turntable until I was 11. So it was 2 years of writing lyrics and trying to be before, we sold newspapers and was able to buy a pair of
Technique 1200.
No, not 1200s. No. SL60s, the straight arms.
Nice.
The ones that, I ain't even know.
Ain't they belt drive, Scratch? What?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And I didn't even know that you had to take off the mat under, you know what I mean? The record mat.
The rubber mat.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Hold on, Tom. We really telling our age right now because we all saying it. We know we finish each other's sentence. The rubber mat.
Those particular turntables, if you let the record play to the end, it automatically the needle picks up and goes back to the top.
Also, wait a minute. It started over.
This is funny.
The point being made, me and ODB, we sold newspapers, and my brother Devon, we sold newspapers to get a pair of those and to get an echo machine. You know what I mean? And the first drum machine we got was the rhythm box. That all you could do was just hit that bossa nova or hit that. But if you put two of them together, it makes a unique beat. You know what I mean? And that was the foundation.
Are you talking about the square one with the gray and white buttons?
Yeah.
I still got mine.
Jesus Christ.
That's crazy.
I'm gonna sing you a picture. My shit still work too.
That's dope.
This is like so. It's like, I feel like we do. Well, like for anybody who's just tuning into the show, by the way, like we're giving so much hip hop history, and we haven't even gotten to the album yet.
Well, look, but as an MC, the pandemic made me go back and dig into all my little stuff. I never, you ever move into a new crib and you don't unpack for like 5 years?
Mm-hmm.
Anybody ever do that? Like you be having stuff that's like. Then I finally started unpacking during the pandemic. Like, yo, let me.
Right.
I found this old lyric book, and when I was reading through it, it took me back to when I was in Curtis High School. You know what I mean, and me as like the best MC in that school, and it reminded me like, yo, hold on, Riz, you making movies and all that, but you are MC, God. That's your foundation of hip hop. And so when I reached out to Scratch, I was like, yo, I'm ready to be an MC again. You know what I mean? You got these dope tracks. He had a couple that I already had in my files, but I didn't know like he was sitting on gold and diamonds. You know what I mean? He was like, "Yo, I got more." I said, "Well, send that to me." And he started sending them. I just started letting the pen flow, and boom, we created a whole new project, a whole new album, Saturday Afternoon Kung Fu Theater.
And what I love most about this is that like people are like I've known Scratch for I don't know how long now. Riz, I've been a fan of yours. We met in passing, but like this is my first time having a real conversation. So when I think of DJ Scratch and RZA, immediately Scratch, I go to the greatest turntables alive. And when I think RZA, I go to honestly, and I hope you don't get offended, I don't even think MC first. I think like producer, because I come from the Wu Tang era where you were the head. I mean, you had the other rappers, the Jizza, the RZA, the Method Man. I can go down the list of them, but RZA was the brainchild. So I think of RZA as the brainchild producer. I never, ever, I would have bet y'all every dollar I got that, okay, RZA's producing, Scratch is doing the scratches, and then they're doing some MCs. That's what I would have thought. So this is blowing my mind that you're the MC and he's the producer /
Yeah, I'm the MC. Don't forget Bobby Digital's is in stereo. When people wasn't going digital, I was digital. So we took that persona from Bobby Digital and the RZA. You know, one thing you could do when you check, if you check the Wu Tang catalog, you'll notice like when I do open my mouth and let bars out, it's always like spiritual, inspirational, dropping jewels. You know what I mean? Not always bragging about, whatever, you know what I mean? Right. And so when you hear this album right here, you're going to get a mouthful of jewels, but then you also want to get some of that crazy Bobby Digital ideas where you don't know if it's man or myth. You know what I mean?
I remember the sub theme of the album, the sub theme of Saturday Afternoon Kung Fu Theater is Bobby Digital versus the RZA.
Oh, Jesus.
So some songs is Bobby Digital and some songs is the RZA.
I remember my man, I think it was on Tribe, said perpendicular to the square.
Exactly.
I'm a fan, man. Like this, this is a big moment for me. Like I say, I never got a chance to tell anybody. I honestly thought I was a member of Wu Tang in the 90s. Like I know they were like Wu fan Scratch. I wasn't a Wu fan. Like I was a member. Like it was y'all my guys. Like I studied y'all. I studied Scratch. So like to be in a position where I have a syndicated radio show now heard not just in DC but worldwide, and I'm able to like. There's some new listeners now that might be 21 years old. You know what I mean? And they might not know exactly what Scratch and RZA mean to the culture. And I'm glad that I'm able to use my platform to show everybody. I always say it's a difference between OG and old heads. And let me like break that down. I know y'all know, but for anybody who's watching or tuning in, it's been a disconnect with hip hop for years where the old heads complain about the younger generation. They complain and they just bash them. You guys aren't old heads, you're OGs. Because the OGs, we embrace the next generation, but we also school them. Like Scratch is the guy that's going to find a young DJ and be like, it's not that you're whack, it's just that this is how it should sound. RZA, the same thing. It's not that I'm that much better of a producer for you. I'm going to teach you how to count the BPMs and the beats per minute and structure things. So like, this is a learning point I think for me to show the next generation that the OGs of the world, the QuickSilva, RZA, Scratches of the world, we want you to embrace this album so you can have an open mind of what hip hop used to sound like. And we're not dissing I play the new generation. Right. We play the same new stuff, but we still love the 90s sound.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yes, Scratch. Pardon.
Look
the beautiful thing, yo, you nailed it with the distinction, you know what I mean? old heads and OGs, and they call me triple OG, you know what I mean? I'm triple, you know what I mean? But point being made is that, yo, listen, it takes the grandmasters to teach the master, then the master teaches the student. You know what I mean? And so when you're young, you're going to be a student of this. When Wu Tang came out, just for your 21-year-old listeners, when we came out, I was the 21, 22-year-old kid. You see what I mean? But the difference, I think I had, not too much of a difference, but the main difference is that I started when I was 9.
I saw when I was 10.
Right. So by the time you got to 22, you gave your 10 years of mastery. And so when people in the industry heard Wu Tang, they was hearing masters at work. But now you're hearing grandmasters at work. Right. So there's not a beat that nobody, like the beats that everybody is making, I'm loving it. It makes me move too. Right. And my daughter's making those beats. I got my daughter making beats that sound like they're on the radio, because that's a generation. But at the same time, you know what I mean, I had to hit her with some classics so she could understand that spirit is there. You know what I mean? And I ain't gonna front, when she kind of did the knowledge to that, she made a track that has a blend of what we did and what we're doing now, right? And she had her own little be more twist on it, because she's from that area, you know what I mean? Right. So it is mandatory for us to do our jobs, you know what I mean? Or the art gets lost.
Absolutely, facts. Once again, if you're just tuning into the QuickSilva Show, I'm talking to the legendary RZA and DJ Scratch. Album comes out. Once again, even one of y'all, tell me the name of the album, and the album comes out when again?
The album just came out March 4th. The album's called Saturday Afternoon Kung Fu Theater. I know that's a long title to type in any DSPs, so you could just type in. So if you want to find the album, just type in RZA and DJ Scratch, and it'll pop up.
Perfect. Now, once again, what I love most about my radio show is that my listeners vary. Like my age range, my demographic for my show is like 16 to 60. So it's a wide range. So you have some day one fans. From the EPMD days to the Scratch days to the RZA Wu Tang days, that they might be concerned, like RZA and Scratch trying to dumb it down because they want to now appeal to the 21 and old. Like if I'm a fan of the 90s, you know what I'm saying? I might not want to hear RZA rapping over that track that sounds like something from 2000. You know what I mean? How do you please the fan? That's been a fan since the 90s, and they really are concerned, like, yo, these guys better not drop this album that's trying to fit in with the 19-year-old rapper that my kid listens to.
Right.
Now, that's one of the reasons why I don't produce for a lot of like people from my era, because they're still trying to appeal to the young audience. When we made music 30 years ago, we didn't target a certain audience. We just made music, and whoever liked it, you know what I mean? So right now, this album, we're definitely not trying to target anybody. We just doing the OG shit, the triple OG shit where we from. When you hear this album, you can place it in the 90s or you can place it now, but we're definitely not trying to target any type of younger audience or anything like that. And that's what needs to be done from anybody from the past in hip hop. Just make music. Like our fans from 30 years ago, they grew up with us. Make music for them. You know what I'm saying?
And the piggyback, Scratch, but the piggyback on what you're saying, which is so right. And I feel like you said something, RZA kind of laughed, because we might have thought the same thing. When I say y'all made music. And nowadays it's so mind-boggling that I'm gonna say the last 10 years or so, I talk to a lot of artists, and once again, I'm not trying to offend anybody. That's not why we're on this, right? But I talk to some of these artists, and this is what they say to me, RZA and Scratch. Yeah, I gotta make that record because that's for the radio. I gotta make that record because that's for the club. And this record right here is for the street. And this record is for the lady. And I'm thinking, like, when I heard Wu Tang, I never think Wu Tang made Wu Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with, and say to myself, this is for the radio. They just made the record. The record just became so big, we were forced to make a clean version. That's not a radio record. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like
that's the approach. That's the approach with this album.
Right.
Like, if you for the younger audience, if you're used to listening to a certain type of sonic in your car on your sound system, approach this album very carefully when you turn it on, because it's hard ass drums, kick, snares, lyrics, bars, scratches, bass lines. You know what I mean? Like it's every component of it. Approach your systems like don't try to sue us if your shit you blow out your speakers and shit. You know what I mean?
We know y'all got that money, man. RZA got that Tarantino money for making them films, man. He's suing.
Well, the funny thing about that is to talk about it. A lot of, like you said, a lot of young people in general, they do this for the money.
Right.
You know, and I've been through that phase. I've been through the phase where if you ain't have a check, I wasn't showing up. You know what I mean? But hip hop didn't start that way. Hip hop started with a DJ bringing out his system to the park. He could have kept it in his crib.
Luke Cool Herc.
He brought it to the park and plugged it up and shared it with the community. Then the MC came out and he shared it. They didn't charge no fee, yo. The fee didn't happen until they had to go inside the clubs. And even then the fee was just like, yo, it was a $5 fee plus ID, but $1 off if you got the flyer. you know what I mean? And the point being made is that this album is reminiscent of that too. It's the DJ Scratch, and it's the MC, the RZA, and we are back at the foundation. Now, I will say this as well. You know, music is universal. I honestly believe that. And if I did decide to rap over a trap beat, or I decide just to rap like this, yo, hey yo, son, hey yo, feel me, yeah, more sands in the hourglass. How long can my power last? Caught you with a power blast. I could do that too. It don't matter. You know what I mean? As long as I'm capturing the essence of what I'm doing and being creative. But this particular album is that raw sound that helped hip hop expand across the world, which was during the 90s boom bap era, because hip hop wasn't so global. It grew global as we kept pioneering it. And this sound should be something that when you get this record, any age bracket, for your whole audience out there, like you said, 16 to 60, you know what I mean? It's some energy on there for everybody, you know what I mean? But we didn't come out of our chamber. We stayed in our chamber.
I love that, man. Once again, I'm not gonna hold y'all too much longer, man. I can talk to y'all for hours, but I know we live on the radio in another 5 minutes. DJ Scratch, RZA, I'm so excited to really indulge into this album. Why I got you here, I gotta ask RZA, is there any hope? Because if I know the fans will be like, quick, if you don't ask him this question, like this is a horrible interview. Is there any hopes of a Wu Tang album in the works ever again? Hey, Scratch, I gotta ask why I got him.
I mean, there's always hope, right? That's this whole world. We always gotta say that in this world. Somebody said, "Yo, is there any hope we're gonna hear Once Upon a Time in Shaolin?" I was like, "Brother, there's always hope, brother. There's always hope."
Okay.
And if there is, I'm preparing right now. I'm making a whole album of joints for a Wu Tang album. If it ever happens, I'll be ready.
So all I gotta do is show up again with that microphone. Make it easy.
No pressure, fellas. No pressure.
Make it easy for me.
Millions of people listening to the show.
Yeah, QuickSilva. So when you listen to the album, man, like just
I'm on it today.
Get your neck brace because your head's going hard.
Hey, I want to say thank you to both of y'all, man. Once again, it's been an honor just speaking with y'all, man. We got to do this more. Prayerfully, we can get y'all back down to DC soon. I would love to do a release, something with you guys. I don't know if I can afford it, but I got a low budget that I can put pills from. But I'm serious, man. What y'all mean to the culture is it's legendary, man. It's not that many people that have stood the test of time. That still 30 years later of making music. 30 years later, not just making music. This is my favorite word. You're still relevant. Like, and think of how many people that you started DJing with Scratch that don't even DJ anymore. RZA, think of how many people that used to be artists, producers that literally you haven't, and they're still alive. You like, what happened? Like, y'all are still 30 years later. Like, I think nowadays, and I want to say it was I think it was Jay-Z or something. He was on an interview, and what he said was that nowadays, when artists and producers come out, and DJs, if you get like a year or two run, they tell you like you got the wave, right? But then if you hot for 5 years, it's like he or she's official. Now, when you hot for 10 years, then it's like, okay, yo, this person is like legendary. Now, I always say for the Scratch and RZAs, what do you call a person that's hot, relevant for 30 plus years? Do we have a word for them yet?
I got to make that word up for it. You got to make that word up.
We're 30 plus and we're still having these conversations. Y'all aren't even legendary anymore. Like legendary.
I wouldn't call someone a legend just for 10 years of work. Me personally.
You wouldn't, but you'll be surprised how many people will. People say,
yeah, no, I see people saying for 2 years and they're saying they're legends.
Right.
I'm just saying me personally. I guess you would have to say icons.
I take it. So salute to the icons, DJ Scratch and RZA. Salute. I appreciate y'all. Hey, download, stream the album, request it on the radio. Yes, I still have power over my show. I can play what I want. So right now, if the people want it, I can play it. I'm not the playlist DJ that got to play by the mix show playlist. Nah, request that boom bop. I love the 90s sound, and I always say, for me, the golden era is that sound. I know some people say hip hop, started in the 70s and 80s, but I love everything. But my personal, that 91 to like 97, and that's pushing it. Like that early 90, mid 90, that's my era. That's my golden era. Because for me, that's when New York sound like New York. Like I feel like after the years, nowadays it's gonna be a guy from Brooklyn, and I think he's from East. I don't know where you're from. But when I heard Wu Tang, when I heard EPMD, when I heard Mobb Deep, when I heard Big, like I knew I'm not from New York, but I felt like if I closed my eyes, I was walking in Harlem, I was walking in Staten Island, I was walking in Brooklyn, wherever, the Bronx. You know what I mean? So like that's why that era for me. I still listen to 90s hip hop all day, every day, because it just puts me in a good mental space. So I want to say thank y'all for creating that soundtrack, and really thank you for continuing to create soundtracks like people like myself can enjoy, fellas.
Thank you, QuickSilva. Peace and blessings.
Salute y'all, man. I don't know if y'all want to leave your Instagram, whatever, we can follow you so the people can follow you and plug the album one more time.
Yeah. I'm the RZA. You can go to bobbydigital.com. You know what I mean? And get the music Saturday afternoon, Kung Fu Theater, 36 Chambers, Bong Bong, and I'm a pastor to DJ Scratch.
You can reach me at DJ Scratch on all social media and scratchvision.com.
Right. And salute once again. I'm going to say this once again in closing, and I'm hoping y'all not getting tired of me saying this. Y'all deserve every flower y'all get, fellas. Y'all are the culture. Like when you think of DJing, MC, producers, like, I don't know anybody that's not going to name Scratch in their top. I'm gonna say top 2 Scratch, because I mean I don't know, Scratch would be like a quick. I know I'm one, but like there's no other DJ that would argue that like, okay, Scratch is not in the top 3. Like, okay, now you're just lying to yourself. You know what I'm saying, Scratch? Right. But same with RZA. Like, you gonna tell me in the 90s Wu Tang wasn't your favorite, really? And RZA wasn't like really, like, now you're not being honest with yourself. So, like, I salute y'all for what y'all mean to the culture. Keep up the great work. And I'm always a text or a DM or whatever you need away, whatever you need. My platform is yours, fellas.
Respect.
Appreciate it, man.
All right, fellas. Y'all be safe.